Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Bree, and in today's video I'm giving you my first impressions on these products, so keep watching. Alright, I'm starting out on Clean and Moisturized Skin, picking up the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer and just reading the instructions. It says shake to activate, and that this product can be used pre-makeup as a primer or post makeup as a setting spray. So fingers crossed, I'm hoping that it works out for me. But as you can see, I am applying it as a primer. It's got a very fine mist and it is supposed to provide a sticky grip, so I'm just applying a little bit more just to make sure I'm getting what I want out of it as a primer. So the jury is still out, and I'm drying that down, and it feels sticky enough, so I feel comfortable moving on to my next step, which is this Maroon Skin Prep Toner. This toner helps me combat creasing around my mouth, and it helps to keep makeup on my nose. So what you see me doing here is applying that toner to my smile lines where a crease and makeup tends to separate and move, and applying it to my nose where makeup just does not want to stick. So once I have that applied, I let that dry down as well. And as that product dries, it gets a little tight, like your skin feels a little tight. So now that that is dried down, I'm moving on to this Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the color 340. This is also another first impression product. I ran out of my old foundation and did not want to spend $30-something to replace it, so I picked this one up for $6. It is a matte finish and it is buildable coverage, and so what you see me doing here is just applying it and just watching this back. I feel like I did pretty good with the color matching, especially for there not being any testers available to do swatches. I think I matched pretty well. So using my favorite foundation brush by Real Techniques, I'm just blending that foundation out, and as you can see, like, the transformation has begun. This is honestly one of my favorite parts, is seeing the foundation work, and this foundation is working. And what you just saw me do there was, I was trying to see how the foundation matched on my chest. I would have swatched it, but my shirt comes up pretty high, so gotta work with what you got. But nonetheless, I am blending out this foundation, and it's giving me some pretty good coverage right out the bat. Like I said, it is a buildable coverage, so it doesn't go on super high coverage, which is good because, it lets you build as you want. Sometimes you just want a natural finish. Other times you want to kind of, cake it on. And this foundation does leave room for that. So I like it, so far I'm liking it. It's blending out well. It's playing well with the primer. It's playing well with the Maroon Skin Prep. I didn't have to stop and do troubleshooting because there have been some times where I've done my makeup and the foundation didn't really play well with the primer. Oh my gosh, I remember I had a Becca primer and I used to use it with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, and it just did not work. Like, it would ball up on my face. It was just weird. So I'm a little traumatized from that. But these two products, the e.l.f. Power Grip Setting Spray and Primer, works well with this Maybelline Fit Me foundation. And so right here, I am applying a second layer of coverage because it is buildable. And I just apply more in the areas where I have some hyperpigmentation. So around my mouth, definitely under my eyes, and then I have some acne blemishes on my forehead. So I just went in with a little more foundation to perfect those areas. So now that I have my foundation blended out, I moved on to the next step in my routine, which is defining and filling in my brows. So I am using this eyebrow brush and some eyeshadow from that Morphe 35V Stunning Vibes palette. I use that palette a lot, but I'm using an off black color to shape my brows and then to fill them in. Alright, so going in with this LA Pro Girl concealer, I'm mixing a little bit of it with that Maybelline Fit Me foundation to customize my highlight color. And this is what I'm going to clean my brows up with, and what I'm going to use to highlight my face. So now I am just blending out all the areas that I applied the highlighting concealer, and then just applying a little more as I go. But I have blended out the highlighting concealer around my brows. I'm blending it out under my eyes and up onto my cheekbones. I've touched my nose a little bit, just a tiny bit on my nose. I've learned to be very light-handed with highlighting and contouring on my nose because it can come off too harsh because of the contrasting, and then, you know, the blending, if it doesn't like go the way I want, and then makeup tends to move off of my nose. Luckily I found a solution for that, but I still just am very light-handed when it comes to my nose. Nonetheless, I am blending out all that highlight. Alright, now that my highlight is all blended out, it's time to add some definition back to my face. So I am using a MAC NW55 foundation stick to do that. And I'm starting out with my cheekbones, just giving my cheekbones some shape back and adding a little warmth and definition. So I'm blending that concealer along my hairline just to add some warmth and to kind of give that vignette effect that you can get like when you add the vignette on your pictures. When you add the dark vignette around the perimeter, it kind of makes the center stand out a little bit more. So that's what I'm going for. And moving on to my nose, I'm using a Morphe eyeshadow brush and that same MAC foundation stick to add some definition and shape back to my nose. So I like to start out, I don't know what to call that space, the part where my nose goes into my eye crease. I like to start out there, and then I go to the tip of my nose and define there, and then I connect the space in between, and I find that I get the most precise shape when I do it that way. But again, I have learned to go very light-handed with nose contouring, because for me, I'm not trying to make my nose look super narrow, but I do like to bring the shape back after, applying foundation and applying highlight. And so that's what I'm doing here. And some days are hits and some days are misses, but I think with this application, it's definitely a hit. And so now I'm taking my foundation brush and just blending in the nose contour, the cheek contour, along with my highlight. Basically marrying my highlight and contour together to get rid of any harsh lines and to make everything seamless. And so here you see me setting my contour with a neutral brown color from that Morphe palette. I've come to find that this eyeshadow is actually pretty good. A pretty good color match for setting my my contour. So you just see me setting everywhere that I applied that cream contour. Moving on to my highlight, I'm setting that with a Morphe setting powder using this, I guess it's called a powder puff. But I am setting my highlight with that Morphe powder. And I'm setting everywhere I applied that highlight. I've learned to just pat the product on the back of my hand before I apply it to my face, at least when I'm setting my highlight colors. It definitely makes a difference. Alright, so I have my highlight set, I've got my contour set, and now it's time to marry it all together with this MAC powder foundation. I've had it so long, I don't remember what color it is, but I'm using that foundation to set everywhere that I didn't set with a highlight or contour powder, and then to also marry together my highlight and contour areas. So I have moved on to my eyeshadow, and I'm using this really pretty purplish pink color to build the shape of my eyeshadow, and I decided to finish the rest off camera. So here I am setting my finished look with that e.l.f. primer and letting that dry down. And I have to say I'm pretty satisfied with the way that this look turned out with the foundation and the setting and primer spray. So, get into it. This turned out so good.